This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, the City of Hazleton is getting ready for their annual 9/11 memorial service. We talk with one of the organizers next. Thanks for watching FYI on SSPTV and SSPTV.com. I'm Ken Cara. We start our Wednesday show with headlines from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. Homicide charges were filed today in the murder of a drums man. 29-year-old Elazar Israel of 33 West 10th Street in Hazleton was charged with an open count of homicide in connection with the death of 52-year-old Samuel J. Vacant of Drums. Vacant's body was found Sunday in a wooded area in Penn Forest Township. Police searched Israel's home last Wednesday after Vacant's car was found abandoned near the Hazleton Elementary Middle School. The school was closed that day as police conducted the investigation. Israel was charged last week after police discovered drug paraphernalia and a prohibited weapon during their search. He was in Luzerne County Prison, unable to post $100,000 bail. There's a vacancy on Hazleton City Council. Last night, Councilman Keith Bast resigned from the post he was elected to in 2011. Bast has taken a job in Colorado. The resignation takes effect immediately. Council now has 30 days to fill the post. If it does not, the Luzerne County Court of Common Pleas can fill the vacancy. West Hazleton Borough Council recognized 4 Good Samaritans last night. Applause rang out as 20-year-old Justine Salo of Old Cranberry and her 21-year-old brother Nicholas of West Hazleton as they were recognized for their heroic deeds. 2 others who helped that day, 23-year-old Brian Gombeda of Harwood and 21-year-old Chris Shibler of Hazleton, were not in attendance. However, members of their family were on hand for the honor. The 4 were eating at Subway in West Hazleton when they witnessed a 66-year-old woman being assaulted during an attempted robbery on August 6th. The attacker fled when they came to her rescue. The Hazleton area will gather together on Friday to remember those lost in the horrific attacks of September 11, 2001. Lisa Sugart has the details.
For the past 14 years, the City of Hazleton remembering the horrific events of September 11, 2001, and that will be the case this Friday as a solemn memorial service will be held once again at Holy Rosary Church in Hazleton at 7 p.m. this Friday evening. The man who has arranged it since the beginning, our dear friend and Hazleton firefighter, Tony Colombo. Tony, this is an event that has really taken off. You have an actual monument, a memorial at the church, and this ceremony is held each and every year. Why?
Because it's something that's close to our heart as a fire department. It was a horrible day. 343 firemen between EMS, police, and civilians were lost that day. 9/11 was the fire department's Pearl Harbor. It's something that, like Joe Bugden and I, the 3 words we wanted to get out, we must never forget. You can't forget 9/11. And it's something, 14 years later, I think people are starting to forget it. And it bothers me. That's why it really hurts when you go out and ask people about 9/11, and they tend to forget about it. We can't. It's a day that was terrible in our country. We can't have it happen again, and we have a remembrance. In the beginning, it was a service. Now it's a remembrance for the people that have passed. And since that day, there have been more, about 112 more firefighters passed with complications of respiratory disease from the dust that they inhaled. So we can't forget, and Hazleton won't forget.
We see, attacks all over the world taking place right now, so we know we never want anything like this to happen on our soil again. What do you want to say to the community about this Friday evening at 7 o'clock? You want to fill the church.
We're reaching out to the community, firemen, police, EMS, civilians, the whole community. Small, adult, kid, doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome. What we want to do, Joe and I have a goal at one year, one service, we want to fill the church. It doesn't have to be filled with men in blue or women in blue with uniforms. We want to fill the church that we can show our Hazleton pride. For once, let's all come together for something good instead of the negativity that we have. And let's have a prayer service, remember those that have passed, and pray that it never happens again.
Give us a little rundown, I guess, of what will be taking place on Friday evening.
Well, rundown, we're going to start at 7 o'clock. We hope to have a band there, have Father Clark start us off with the invocation, have a band do the national anthem. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. We're working on having some school children, led by my daughter Alicia, to do the pledge. After we do the pledge, then we're going to have Chief Leschko give some remarks. And then our good friend Vinny Tamino, who will be here again, he will offer some remarks. And then we're going to proceed into church and have a little prayer, like a little, not a mass, but a prayer service, some readings, and have Father talk a little bit. And then what we'll do, we'll ring the bell. The fire department has a symbol. We ring the bell, toll 3 5s. We'll have taps and a gun salute, and then have benediction, and then we'll go downstairs for some friendship and light refreshments that the community can actually talk to Vinny. And he loves to be in Hazleton to tell his story, and we'll just have some friendship downstairs.
Vinny is retired FDNY, and he chose to be here each and every year since 2001.
Vinny could be anywhere. You can talk to Vinny today, and he can just get a decision that he wants to fly out to Italy or Rome, and he just gets on a plane and he goes. He's retired. He can do what he wants. And last year, he was asked by someone here in Hazleton, where do you spend 9/11? Why don't you stay in New York? He said, I could be in New York. He said, I don't want to be in New York. Too much activity. That's for the memory of the families that lost people there. Let them have it there. I choose to go to Hazleton because he has adopted us in Hazleton, and he loves to be in Hazleton with us and get the word out for 9/11 that we must, again, never forget.
Well, truer words were never spoken. We must never forget. We hope that you, your family, your friends, everyone will come out this Friday evening, 7 o'clock, Holy Rosary Church in Hazleton for the 9/11 memorial. We hope that the church will be filled.
Thanks a lot, Lisa, for that interview. And it's going to be a busy weekend in Hazleton with that memorial. And then, of course, Fun Fest weekend begins on Saturday. There's only 3 days remaining until the huge street fair and parade in downtown Hazleton. And tonight we continue with our preview of Fun Fest. And tonight we're going to focus on the 26th annual DBI Lawn Specialties Car Show.
We have at least 50 cars show up every year. We're going to park them straight down Broad Street from Church to Pine. They can come in off of Laurel Street. You can turn on Chestnut, come into Laurel, register, and it's a fun day. You can start registering at 9 o'clock in the morning, and the show actually starts at 12, and we give trophies away at 3.
For a complete list of all the festivities at FunFest, go to funfestpa.org. When FYI comes right back, Lisa Sugart has an interview about what you can do to help the American Cancer Society. And coming up a little later on FYI, standard speaker sports editor Dave Seaman and I talk about high school football and this weekend's Hazleton Area Sports Hall of Fame banquet.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Hey, let's get in shape right here on FYI. Each and every Wednesday, we're talking about some runs coming up and some walks. We're with Lou Mattioli, and he seems to be doing it all. Every time I turn around, you're involved in something. So thanks for joining us here on FYI.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Hazleton Half. Tell us what it is and when it's coming up.
Well, we're really excited. We obviously have the series of races, the Festival of Races. And so the Town and Trail and the half marathon, that's part of that, is the final of the Festival of Races for this year. So it's going to be October 17th. And we're really excited because it's not just one race. We're getting bigger and better with the second year that we're doing this. There's a 5K, there's a 10K, there's a half marathon, there's youth runs, we've got walks, we've got it all. So we're really encouraging people to come out and get out on the town or out on the trail with us and make it happen.
Yeah, there's all different levels participating. We have fast runners, we have walkers, we have people intermediate, we have people beginners. So there's all kind of people that are coming out for this. The trail itself, the Hazleton Half, it's the first of its kind. The trail was extended, I heard.
That's right. Again, it's the Town and Trail, so it includes Hazleton and the Rails to Trails. They've done some nice work out on the trail. They extended it, so we're going to be able to really get out there and enjoy the fall foliage out there.
Yes, we are. And, you know, stay local, support local. If you say there's nothing to do, there's a lot to do if you really open your eyes and ears and partake in your community. Now, staying local is key because there are a lot of runs going on throughout Pennsylvania that weekend because of how nice it is here in northeastern Pennsylvania in the fall. This race is probably the most inexpensive.
Absolutely. You know, as she said, we're keeping it local and we're keeping prices down to draw people into the community. The half marathon is only going to be $35, and that's a far cry from what you'd expect in some of the other races that you just mentioned.
We are looking for sponsors, so if you'd like to be a sponsor in any way, shape, or form, whether it be a monetary donation, you want to sponsor a t-shirt, or if you have a different idea, I'm sure that the group is open to any community support that they can get.
Absolutely. Even if you just want to volunteer your time to come out and, whether it's a water station or traffic control or parking, we're always looking for people to come out and help us out.
Before we wrap up, we do want to mention that this is in the morning, so it's not going to crowd up your entire day. You can get up, you can do your run. It's going to be very safe, right, as far as traffic?
Absolutely. We do a really great job of traffic control, even though part of the race comes downtown. We've got very good traffic control, and there's no concerns whatsoever.
All right, and I'm sure you're going to place first because you're like the fastest runner I know.
I'm going to do my best.
No pressure.
No, not at all.
Okay, Lou, thanks for joining us right here on FYI.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
Yes, there are traffic lights in heaven, and yes, there's also a Laurel Street in heaven. I don't actually know if any of that is true, but we've been having some heavenly weather around the area. Let's see if that will continue. Here's our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, 60% chance, cloudy with a low around 65 degrees. And the extended forecast for our Thursday, showers likely and a possible thunderstorm, cloudy with a high near 68 degrees. On Thursday night, again, showers likely and a possible thunderstorm before 11 p.m. Then a chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a low of 56. Friday, the sun comes out for Football Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 73. Also the 9/11 Memorial at night in the city of Hazleton, partly cloudy at night, low of 59. On Saturday, 40% chance of showers, partly sunny, high of 73. Saturday night, 50% chance of showers, low of 57. On Sunday, 40% chance of showers, high of 68. And Sunday night, 30% chance of showers, low of 52 degrees.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Valley High, the area's oldest ice cream and fast food restaurant. Stop on in for a cold treat including our ice cream and yogurt, or some hot food including our burgers, hot dogs, fries, and much more. That's Valley High, Route 93 in West Hazleton. Treat yourself today.
Volunteers are needed for a very important program that is run by the American Cancer Society. It is called The Road to Recovery. And in this world of major advancements in medicine for the treatment of cancer patients, it's terrifying to know that sometimes what's preventing them from getting the treatment is the transportation to the treatment. With this in mind, Jennifer Washney is here. She is the Mission Delivery Specialist for the American Cancer Society. Jennifer, it's hard to believe that so much treatment available these days for all forms of cancer, but some people can't get there?
You're right. There's some people who can't get the treatment because they can't drive themselves, because they're undergoing treatment, or maybe they don't have family members or friends who can take off from work to take them. So it's vital that we have our volunteers to help people get to and from their cancer-related treatments, chemotherapy and radiation.
How big of a program is this? Like, are a lot of people in need of this program?
Yeah, there are many patients who need the program, and we depend on volunteers so that we are able to help our cancer patients. So we need more volunteers to help us with this special program.
So for anybody who is watching this right now and they say, I don't know if I could be a volunteer, what do I have to do?
Well, you give the American Cancer Society a call at 1-800-227-2345. That's 1-800-227-2345. And you'll be connected to your local office, and you'll learn more about the program. And in order to be a volunteer, you need to be between the ages of 18 and 85. You need to have a good driving record, proof of insurance, a reliable vehicle, if you choose to drive your vehicle. Sometimes we have vehicles from the Cancer Society that you could drive. And you need to be able to have a clear background check, like you said, and also participate in a webinar online. And there's some paperwork to fill out, but we'll help you once you give us a call.
And I would think that for anybody who does this, it's extremely rewarding.
Yes, it is. Many of our volunteers are cancer survivors, or they've been touched by cancer in some way, and they want to step up to the wheel to help others and give back. And so I'm grateful that I get to work with such wonderful volunteers, and we really, the patients appreciate the transportation so much, and I know their family members do too.
And the important thing, too, is you can volunteer as many hours as you want.
Yes, most of our rides are provided between the hours of 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, but you don't have to volunteer all week. You can pick your days and your time, so we are very flexible with the volunteers' time.
All right, and if maybe, driving someone isn't the ideal ticket for you, but you want to volunteer and you want to help, there's other volunteer opportunities as well.
Yes, of course. You would call our 1-800 number to register for our programs and learn more about them. And we need volunteers for our Reach to Recovery program. That's a special program where we have volunteers who are breast cancer survivors who are 1 year post-treatment, 1 year past their treatment, and they mentor other women and offer support and help them out. We're looking for volunteers for that, especially women who have been diagnosed in the past 3 to 5 years because the treatment methods have changed. And we're also looking for licensed cosmetologists and estheticians to teach our Look Good, Feel Better program, which is a makeup program for women going through treatment. So if if you could drive, if you're a cosmetologist or an esthetician, or if you're a breast cancer survivor and you want to help out, please call us at 1-800-227-2345 to learn more.
Wow, great opportunities to help out. And as Jennifer said, the people doing the volunteering get as much out of it as the people that they are helping. So if you're looking to do something great, help out the American Cancer Society.
Once again, thank you, Lisa. Now your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers on FYI: pick 203, pick 3 506, pick 4 1185, and pick 5 02243. Lottery numbers on FYI are brought to you by Boyer Insurance Agency with 2 locations to serve you. One is in Cunningham on Sugarloaf Avenue. The other location is in Nescopec on Broad Street. You can call Boyer Insurance in Cunningham at 570-788-3543 and in Nescopec at 570-752-7683. It's Dave Day when we come right back.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
I know we're on air, but I wanted you to see the face I made after the Penn State Temple game on Saturday. Dave, probably a lot of Penn State fans in shock, but we talked about it. Dave even said if Temple scores a defensive touchdown, they probably win this football game. They got down to what? The 2-yard line on an interception from Christian Hackenberg. But let's start with that, Dave. And there was a great article online saying, hey, this win isn't about Penn State, it's about Temple, and a big win for them. And you hit on it a little bit, but is this a team you think at the end of the season we'll be talking about as a really good mid-major football team who can compete with some of the bigger guys? They still have a big one left with Notre Dame.
Yeah, Temple does have a very veteran team. 19 of 22 starters back. They were 6-6 last year. A couple guys got hurt for them last year, or maybe that record would have been a lot better than it was. Offensively, they look like they're improved. The quarterback's improved, and that comes with seasoning, and that comes with playing a lot of close games and learning how to win. And I think Temple learned how to win on Saturday.
On the Penn State side, Dave, just how bad is the offensive line? That's my other question for you. It didn't seem like the coaching staff, and I could be wrong, but it didn't seem like they made any adjustments in that second half. And Coach Franklin, to his credit, said, hey, the best 5 are playing right now on the offensive line. We're not burning any red shirts, and it's hard to do things when you're really not getting any blocking. So is this a problem that can be fixed at Penn State?
I think they have to work on their schemes. I think that was more of my concern, if I'm a Penn State fan, is the schemes that were run. It seemed like they were running the same few plays throughout the whole game, and Temple eventually caught up to it. But the offensive line is a major problem right now. Temple was rushing only 2 or 3 linemen at one time, and the Penn State offensive line had no answer for it. And Christian Hackenberg didn't help matters. He did rush some throws, made some poor decisions, but it's got to be a team effort. Football is, as we've said how many times, is the ultimate team game. The offensive line, yes, has to get better. The coaches have to do a better job working to their strengths and playing off their weaknesses. And Christian Hackenberg has to, step up and be the leader that he is.
Well, Dave, Penn State has a chance to take a step in the right direction this Saturday against Buffalo. Speaking of the right direction, how about the Hazleton area Cougar football team? Dave, my phone was lighting up on Friday night, and if there was a trending information in the Hazleton area, a lot of people just talking about the Cougars and surprised that they pulled off this victory at Coughlin. And Dave, the biggest thing to me, Coughlin's coming back there in the second half, and Hazleton area puts together a 79-yard scoring drive, 12 plays. So they really earned this victory. And how impressive is this for the Cougars, and how big is it for the confidence?
Confidence is probably through the roof right now. And to Coach Brennan's credit, he's made it clear, from last year. He didn't get rattled last year when they only won 1 game. He kept teaching and drilling in, and then he said, we need to get stronger. We need to finish off games. And it's obvious that they got stronger during the offseason. New influx of young talent. And the Cougars look like they're on their way to a surprising season right now.
Scranton this week in Week 2, that game at Harmon Geist Stadium. What impressed you from Week 1 of the high school football season, Dave? What did you take away from a player, a team?
Definitely the Cougars. Marion Catholic going to be strong this year. They started out strong at Williams Valley. KJ Snur went over the 2,000-yard mark in his career. So the Colts have some weapons. Ethan Kaczynski, top-notch quarterback, has been there a while. They're going to be very good this year. North Schuylkill playing Tamaqua, a tough game, typical Anthracite Football League game where it was very close all the way through. Good teams like North Schuylkill found a way to win the game, and so I'm looking forward to a big season from local teams.
Right now, Marion sitting on top of the FYI Cole scale, so very impressive there. We'll see if North Schuylkill can answer, or anyone else in the Anthracite League. And finally, big weekend in the Hazleton area for sports, not only because of fall sports, but the Hazleton Area Sports Hall of Fame, Dave, happening this Sunday night. Tickets are still available, and in the Standard Speaker this week, a big article on Russ Kanzler, so you can go back and read some of the profiles of the athletes getting in. This is a great night.
It is, too, and we had also a profile on Ed Morgan, former Hazleton High baseball coach, old Black Creek Township coach, has been around a while. Ed's a big fan of sports in the area, so we had a lot of profiles on a lot of former athletes and coaches who are going to be inducted on Sunday, and it's their night. I really enjoy, one of my favorite nights of the year, where we get to honor the past greats.
Dave, we appreciate your time this week. We'll talk more next week. Fall sports are in full swing, so let's check out the FYI Standard Speakers scoreboard. The Big HA field hockey team picked up a big win over Wyoming Valley West. The defending District 2 champions, Kara Sanford, Annie Mentler, and Megan Reed had the goals for Hazleton area. On the pitch, the Hazleton area boys beat Pittston area. The girls, they lost to the Patriots. In girls tennis, Tamaqua lost to Notre Dame East Stroudsburg. Penn State Hazleton took second place at a golf tournament at Penn State Du Bois. The local Lions' Ty Morzilla was second overall with a score of 79. And Anthony Rizzo hit his 100th career home run and his 29th of the season as the Cubs beat the Cardinals. It's Wednesday, and here's some delicious alliteration. It's signature steak night at Bottlenecks. All of their signature steaks are only $9.95 plus bottomless soup and salad for only $2.95.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. First tonight, happy 65th anniversary to Joe and Teresa Fay. Love from your family and friends. Our Talk of the Town report, St. Peter and Paul Lutheran Church, 660 Alter Street in Hazleton, will be holding a Tricky Tray fundraiser on Saturday, September 12th. Doors open at 1 p.m. and the event begins at 2. Our next announcement, the 2015 Carbon County Senior Citizens Expo will be held Thursday, September 10th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Jim Thorpe Memorial Hall on 10th Street. The expo is free and features more than 50 vendors from local, county, state, and federal agencies to help provide services and answers for seniors. A prescription drug drop-off box will also be available. And finally, the Frank Sinatra Tribute Show featuring Tony Sands and his 8-piece swing band will be held Saturday, September 12th at the Mock Junk Opera House in Jim Thorpe. Tickets are $25, doors open at 6:30, and the show begins at 7:30. For info, just call 570-325-0249 or check out mcohjt.com. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Betty Rose Harding of Whitehaven. Funeral is Friday at 9 a.m. from the Lehman Family Funeral Service. Friends may call Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Angeline Jean Tarapsack, formerly of Drums. Funeral was held privately under the direction of the Harmon Funeral Home. Leah Thompson, formerly of Ringtown. Funeral is Saturday at 11 a.m. at the St. John's Lutheran Church. Viewing is Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Stauffer Bresnik Funeral Home, and also Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. at the church. Daniel C. Postupak, formerly of McAdoo. Mass is Saturday at 11 a.m. at the St. Mary's Ukrainian Catholic Church. And Dakota Buford. Funeral is Thursday at 9:30 a.m. in the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Mass is Thursday at 11 a.m. in the Most Precious Blood Church. Friends may call Wednesday from 6 to 9 p.m. at the funeral home.
Thanks for watching FYI Breaking News at facebook.com/FYI News 13. We'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.